What up, guys? This is for the Justice Department. Um, I just heard them talk about Native America. What about God children with disability? Don't we all deserve an education? Don't we all deserve to grow no matter what the limitation is? Now, I see they talking about Native American, but y'all don't got disability colleges in Texas. And disability, let me tell you, disability can only allow to take PE and none of that. Y'all can't come up with anything else. And that's the problem. I hear Justice Department and I hear you leaders, but you want to attack the issue that you want to attack. And I don't get those things when I'm watching Skynet and I'm watching SkyNews.com and we're talking about challenges and we're talking about disability. One thing when I worked at Walmart, I was on Marsh Lane and I was off the clock. And minutes later talked about how Texas don't invest in disability. I just Googled something and they said just because you got a disability, they cannot stop you from going to college. That's not true. Because that'll stop you from taking classes because other people don't want to be leaders. Like that's the biggest problem we got up in colleges today because other people don't be leaders. That's why I came up there when I get on my social media. Don't let these teachers be leaders. Can these students be leaders? Can we to pay them to have a student by them that can catch on a little more faster than anything and do their work? That's what I'm saying. Can these young students today pull people up to the desk? And this is for the Justice Department. Can they pull them up to the desk and a teacher can only do so much. Can our students have leadership too and be like, "Hey, we're gonna pay you for doing it. Which people want to help out in our class? Let's go to this student on this thing. So we're going to actually pay them while they do their work. We're gonna pay them to watch over and make sure everybody's getting things right. So the students in the classrooms would be getting paid. You actually going to be learning, but also you're going to be guiding that person also while the teacher's teaching. So I might have 5 or 6 students are going to get paid. How many kids that people with disability that wants to go? They you're talking about stuff that are not true. Like Google talking about Texas is the number one problem where you don't have academics that for disability. And when we discussing those things, those are the number one thing. I've been trying to. My teacher took me to Job Corps when I was at Newman Smith, or we just don't want them making fun of you. I'm not worried about those things because I know if I push myself and I do the things that I want, I can do anything that I put my mind to. But y'all need to stop with the negativity. The schools need to stop. Now, when I worked at Walmart, one thing I hated at 2996 is nothing but negativity. The guy said they have to start getting rid of people. And I said, how? And I said, they're not going to get rid of me. How you think that? It's like this guy at Job Corps in Texas, he had nothing but negativity. So if I file a racial complaint against Job Corps for denying me in 2016-15, or 2008 or 2009, denying me of an education, Job Corps in Texas, we're going to actually do that. We're going to file a civil suit on Job Corps for denying me of education in 2008 and 7. So when we are talking about these things where we want growth, and I want Job Corps to hear, I want the Justice Department to hear me. So I'm going to Texas Job Corps, YouTube Texas Job Corps. So what we're going to do, we're going to file a complaint on the Texas Job Corps. So we're going to do when they don't want us to grow. Texas Job Corps don't want us to grow. So when we're talking about those things in those format where we are all not able to grow, that's not true. So y'all able to address other things, but y'all not able to address disability. And that's sad because those Google just told me they in Social Security, they're not allowed. That's a lie because you only got it for middle school and high school. But you only got people taking PE in elementary school. That's what you have. Everybody in God, children deserve an education. And that's not what's right. What I don't like when I'm in the job business of them trying to stop and say, when I went on job interviews at Kroger's, oh, just because this handwriting, you're not allowed to do that. And that's what I hated being in that interview on Marsh Lane in Kroger's. And they coming in Walmart where I used to work at and see me in the deli and this guy come looking at me. And like we have that problem with these ego piercing. Y'all got to be able to make change. We're not worried about them. But we know everybody is not going to want those things to happen. Job Corps, Texas address. So we're gonna sue the whole Texas Job Corps. Those things we not gonna do, but that's a lot of better. So if I go back to 2008, 2007, 2006, and sue those things for denying me a growth, what that's gonna be? Texas got a problem. Your academics not right. If you're gonna talk about schools and colleges and all the rest of those things, let's talk about that. But y'all want to fight instead of looking after your children and like y'all want to fight for everything else but these things. Texas got Governor Abbott want to have this debate about things and everybody's not getting treated right. The jobs in Texas business is wrong. And God telling me to fight because I don't deserve little. They had their time with me. Texas business, and they took that for granted. They had their time with me. They had their time with God's children. So we're going to actually put this on. If you go back in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2007, 2008, 2009, where can we do that at? Well, we can't do that when Texas got a problem and schools got a problem. So when you go look up my resume, you go get documents for Job Corps and the behavior from those people. Texas want to talk, but they don't want to step it up. And we got a racist problem where we all need to understand the bottom line. Yes, we got to tell. Let me tell the Justice Department, when I get on Likely and I talk to kids when they have challenges and they're trying to learn math skills, and I tell them the different ways I learned skills, a timetable, putting money, if it's count money, put the money under the timetables and certain things that I know how to do. Certain things I know how to do, but the Texas is not where everybody can grow at and get that benefit from. But also, I'm telling the White House, I'm not out to settle for less where Walmart and these businesses keep taking me for granted. In the society, I'm not going to settle for best. So what we're going to do in 2007, we're going to file a racial complaint. This happened in 2007, 2006. We're going to file a discrimination complaint against the Texas Job Corps. The black man is always something where we have a problem, and that's $30 million suit from Job Corps for denying me of an education. So God say, let me tell you, God say, we can't complain, but we're going to make up for lost time, and we're going to have so that's going to take time. But I don't want to hear this community in the state of Texas complaining where everybody is not getting treated fair in our society. Everybody's not doing the things that we want to do and be able to grow. I was able to take 2 classes. I understand, but that guy at the Brookhaven classes, he sat by me with the B class every time at Brookhaven. He sat by me. Yeah, I wanted to take more. Yeah, I wanted to do, but now God told me to focus on yourself. I've been picking up 30 books. Focus on your growth more and stop depending on businesses and stop depending on them to get the job done because they don't want to change. You know, I remember being in front of Demir's dad and mom, and Demir used to tell me, Hubert, you can do it. Go to college. And I remember this before all us got in, before all of those things, you know, and this, my relationship with my buying with them, other people started to come in the mix with our buying. I didn't like that where me and Demir, and I told Rick something in the music industry when me and Rick did music, and we would have kept everybody else out of our friendship. Me and you and Sabina and them and all of us would still be hanging out. And we would have kept everybody else out of our friendship that caused a threat. And I think I told them it got bigger than us when people started to want to dip in and come in. So it got really bigger than us. And our friendship from kids, it got really bigger than us and everything. And we have to understand those moments when we are chilling and it get bigger than us. So, you know, that caused conflict. So understand those moments, but everybody's not able to have an education. At 14, 15 years old, I was going to job sites. I was leaving school early, going to the interviews. My first year at Newman Smith High School, thrift stores. I was cashing checks at 14, 15 years old. Sometimes I saved my checks to through my mom would take it. And the problem we have at the Social Security, and this is the thing is, every time we mail stuff out, Mirza, Sabina's auntie, Diamond Mirza, mom had that same problem. In Carrollton, Texas, where we mailing stuff off and y'all talking about y'all haven't got it. Y'all behaving wrong. So when we got to send it back, then we got to come back we got to come back and bring it again because the computer's not working. We are all having these problems at the Social Security. Bring them back again. It didn't take, the computer didn't take them. It should be not our fault when we are bringing stuff in there and you telling us to bring stuff back in there again because the computer didn't take the information. Everybody deal with those problems in Texas. Everybody deal with those things. And that is not a Texas problem, it's around the world. So we're dealing with those problems where, bam, and I think where we need to find out where we can socially communicate with jobs and find better results instead of the limit to people. Because I had a baby mama that worked there, and she was scared to get a raise because y'all taking. And I just think that's when we are talking about those narrows where everybody else get to get rewarded. You taking, everybody's getting mad because people want to grow. Nobody wants to hear people out at the Social Security office. No, I tell them, you're going to listen to me. I'm telling you, going to listen. I told them, shouldn't have tell you better get you a damn assistant that's going to be able to, another assistant that's going to be at your office that's going to accept Social Security calls. You better get a Texas legislator create another job at a Texas legislator that's going to be able to answer the hotline at the call at the Texas legislature discussing the Social Security worker. I told Joe Biden and I told the Justice Department, let them go and play dress up undercover boss. When I worked at Walmart, and one of the things I didn't like about those things, and I'm always on my job. Everybody talking about corporate office coming, corporate. I'm always on my job. Everybody want to straighten up and do their part. You know what I say? Heck, I'm gonna work like I've been working hard. What is this? The rush myself, and I'm doing the pace that I want to do. So if you going, I tell Joe Biden, go in there. Senator Harris, go in there. But don't go there as yourself because they're going to get their act together. Just like Walmart. They say corporate office is coming. They get scared and everybody want to straighten up. I'm going to work the same. I'm going to keep that I'm going to keep that same thing. That same energy, yeah. Get money staffed the way Huber sellers. I'm going to keep that same energy. They're regular people just like us. When they see me, I want them to see me working hard. When they see me, if they come in and if they walk into that store, bam, I've been working hard and they're going to see me now. Nothing's never going to change. Either they there or they not there. And that's how I feel when I'm in, that's how I feel when other employees at work at 1216 telling me about this stuff when I work for Walmart. That's how I feel. Like, come on, I'm not gonna rush myself and I'm working. I've been working. Ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing really gonna change, partner. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna stay on focus on our work, and we're gonna keep it going. So we're gonna keep things going. So I just think that's the kind of mindset I had. That's the mindset I had. I always wanted to progressive and grow and whatever I wanted to do, and that's the kind of mindset I had. But we got to find a way to do a better focus on what we want to do. I said, God tell me, look, everybody complain or say something in church. If you don't want to invest in me, God gonna invest in me. But also I'm gonna get back what's took it from me, from the car center making fun of me, hanging up in my face and neglecting and abusing people. Those things, I want the Justice Department to understand those things and those that don't. Let me tell you something. When you figure out my accounts, you're not gonna feel, oh, he just getting on YouTube. I've been on other platforms, and I'm willing to speak up. I'm willing to do stuff like, I'm willing to do these things. So we understand those. We understand. We understand those things, right? We understand those things. So where, and now just the mayor and the rest of them in Texas trying to get with a lot of behavior, with a lot of other things. Yellow Breezy, all the rest of them. And people instead of trying to take what's not theirs, and people want to argue, but they're not able to let us grow with that. I told you what I told. I want all of me from Trap Boy Freddy and Dallas and them in the mail what he's doing. And the more I go to that courtroom and they abuse their power, the mayor with his corrupted line, but with City Hall and them members, we are going to have a big problem. And they're going to do any sneaky thing to get it. That's why I sued the Texas legislator. Because of the racist words that him and City Hall and them members. Understand these things. We all have a right to fight, and we should not. And that's why I filed the civil rights complaint. He trying to get all of them trying to get away in City Hall. When he got it, let me tell you what he said. And I want you to know, oh, you said I got an education. You know everybody don't get an education at the high school. Because certain point you're allowed to push. I don't care if you got your university degree or nothing. I'm willing to push myself to get that same thing you have. To get that same thing you have. But don't throw punchlines to get you in a position and you're trying to fight amongst each other and try to blame each other. I told the Justice Department, y'all in cahoots with each other. And y'all lying. The Texas Attorney General, what democracy are you going to protect? Racism, democracy, when we are not getting treated fair? Communities want to complain we are not getting treated fairly? I refuse to be a victim of the Texas businesses. My relationship with Grizz was most understanding. And I'm going to tell you something about Grizz. I didn't have a CBLs for the Fort Cliff or nothing. You know what, Grizz? I went to Justice Department. We talking about the man that don't got the same kind of skin as me. They don't got the same kind of skin as me. He get me on electric pallet jack. He say, mess Walmart. And you know what he do? He put this fake badge on, this fake vest on, and he tell me, Hubert, it's not about them. I'm trying to teach you. Every time we got up there, he tried to teach me. He got me on a Fort Cliff. He took me to the other store. Grizz left. I told y'all why Grizz left. Grizz was going to bend leave. Grizz can't take it no more. When him and his wife say, Hubert, have a good time at NASCAR, because we both like NASCAR. Grizz didn't want to be bothered with that no more. Grizz got tired of that. But we're talking about the man that got a different skin color. He's white and black, and he learned how to accept me. He didn't care about my personality, but he knows something was in me, and he seen something in me. He was able to teach me. And that's what matters the most, where people are not being racist and they're not judging and they're not doing all of these things. So when we dealing with those kind of things, we have to understand the meaning of those things. So if I tell you to go back in 2008, 2007, 2000, and see when Job Code in Texas, they got problems, but everybody want to get mad because, oh, we speak the truth on things. Everybody, when you guard children, everybody just say, but I never stop finding a way to grow. I never stop finding a way to expand my mind, and I'm not going to stop now. God is telling you to give me what I need, and I promise you, the rest of my life I'm on this earth, we're going to give you all of us, give you all of America. I'm done wasting my times on those things. But if people gonna complain about that, no, you ain't being fair. You're being selfish. And that's what you're doing. But I would never stop fighting. I would not stop doing those things.